Hello aspirants, very warm welcome to you all. In today's session, we shall be covering up the continuation of the Indian geography. In the last session, we have dealt in detail about the geography of India, locational factors and the physiography. I think by now you might have an idea of how the entire India's physiography is located, be it from the mountains of Himalayas to the plains of the northern plains or western Ghats, eastern Ghats and the semi-arid areas as well as arid areas of Rajasthan to the northeastern mountains ranging from Mishmi, Abor, Miri, Dafla, Mikir and the Garo, Kasi, Jayantia hills. ये सारी चीज हमने डिस्कस किया है in detail में. Now in today's session, we shall be continuing with the Indian geography, that is your theme number 10. In the last theme, we have discussed about the India. Now this is Indian geography theme number 2. In this particular theme, we are going to cover few chapters from class 6, class 9 and class 11. Right? So class 6 chapters are very basic. They gave you an idea about what is the India's climate and what is the vegetation of India, what is the rainfall of India in a brief. But as you go into the class 11, there are some mechanisms of how this monsoon has evolved over a period of time. What are the vegetations that are grown with respect to the rainfall? So we will be trying to understand all of these chapters. Now go to class 6. Here the chapters that shall be dealt is class 6, chapter 8, class 9, chapter 4 and chapter 5. Class 6, chapter 8 name is India, Climate and Vegetation. Class 4, sometimes in few books the names of the chapters can be number ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है depending upon the NCERT that you have bought, right? So here focus on the names of the chapter. Go to class 9, chapter name Climate. Go to class 9, chapter name Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. This is 2 chapters you are supposed to read. And coming to the next theme, that is Geography of India, in the class 11, chapter 4, chapter 5 and chapter 6, which deals with climate, vegetation and soils. As you already have seen the different types of soils, these soils we have already covered in the biogeography, right? We have already covered in detail in the biogeography. We have kept it here so that you will have an understanding. Once again, if you read this chapter, you will have a beautiful understanding now, right? So broadly, we shall be covering about the India and its climate in detail, vegetation and climate. These are the two aspects we shall be focusing on. Number 1, that is your India's climate and vegetation. Number 2, it is climate, natural vegetation and wildlife, right? In totality, these are the areas we shall be focusing on today's class. Soils chapter, I am repeating again, this particular chapter is covered in biogeography, theme number 8. Theme number 8 we have already covered in detail there, along with the wildlife and other aspects, right? Now come to the chapters which I am going to cover. Come to class 6, chapter 8. This is the name of the chapter here, which talks about the India's climate, vegetation and wildlife. See, this is class 6, chapter 8. Here it talks about what are the seasons in India. See, it says that broadly the major seasons recognized in India are: number 1, cold weather season; number 2, hot weather season; number 3, southwest monsoon; number 4, season of retreat, right? There are 4 major seasons. So let me also write them at one single place and then try to explain you. Cold weather season, it is from December to February. So the seasons that are present in India are: number 1, this is from February, sorry, it is from December to February. Now you might be thinking that season means there are also seasons of spring, autumn, summer and winter. See, those are different seasons. It is just a remodification of these particular seasons into that. Now you look into the second season, that is hot weather season, from March to May. You also have the second season, that is hot weather season, which is from March to May. Then you have southwest monsoon season. This is from June to August, September. Now come to the northeast monsoon season. This is from the month of October. Again, see here, month of October, this to November. These are the same seasons which are given as winter, summer, rainy, autumn, right? Can I say that these are the same seasons which are otherwise called as, this is your winter season, this is your summer season, this is your rainy season, and this is your autumn season. Now, where is spring season present? Spring is usually, it is in the month of March. So spring goes along with the summer. See, India's conditions are completely different from those seasons that you see in the month of see across the world, right? So broadly, Indian Meteorological Department takes these into consideration. Now we have to understand what are the different types of seasons that India has, how these seasons are formed. You go to your class 6, this talk about cold weather season or winter, hot weather season or summer. Then you have southwest monsoon season or rainy season, season of monsoon or autumn. These are your retreating monsoon seasons. So here it also talks about the phases, the climate is affected by various factors such as altitude, distance from the sea, relief, and what is the natural vegetation. Wherever you have good rainfall, you have a vegetation of this type. Okay? You have a vegetation of this type where you have multiple layers of vegetation. This is where you have 250 centimeters of rainfall, such as you go to the Kerala region. This is where you will find this kind of forest. The northeast region, you will find these kind of forests. But our priority is not just identifying the vegetation, but also to know how this climate has formed, So for that, let's quickly go and look what is the wildlife that is present in these areas. India has major types of the wildlife. Now this is the chapter. Come to your class 9. In this class 9, again same things repeated, but here climate is little more elaborated. So इसमें क्या होता है, when you are starting to read class 6 completely, then go read class 7 completely, class 8 completely. Issues are that whatever you have read, you are going to repeat it again in different chapters. So instead of that, these are the number of chapters that you are supposed to read at a go, right? Only choose these chapters, then you'll have a beautiful idea on this particular theme. Any questions asked, you will be in a position to answer them very easily, right? Okay. Now come to this climate. Here also the climate says that what are the factors that control the climate. In this particular chapter, they talk about what are the factors that control the climate. The factors that control the climate are, one is latitude, altitude, pressure, wind, distance from the sea. Now, let me tell you, if I put them onto the board here, what are the factors that are going to control this particular climate? You know, these are the climates. Now, what are the factors that are going to control? First is latitude. Second one is altitude. Third one, pressure system. Fourth one, distance from the sea. This is also your distance from the sea. So in totality, it talks about wind system, distance from the sea, ocean continents, and relief features also. These relief features are also nothing but your altitude. Altitude or relief features दोनों same है, मतलब कोई पहाड़ है, mountain है, right? So I'll also include the oceanic currents. And number 6, I'll also include the relief features. Right? So sometimes examiner can ask you questions related to this particular seasons and they might link it with these factors. So you need to know them in a detailed manner. Right? Okay. Now this is what it is going to talk about this particular chapter. Right? So there is cold weather season, there is hot weather season, there is also dry seasons. Now these are some things that you need to know. So how the monsoon advances, at which time the monsoon comes to India, and then the vegetation that is there in India. This is the chapter. Now come to class 9. Class 9 talks about the beauty of vegetation across. They talk in detail about the vegetation here. It is nothing but the thorny forest and shrubs, where do you find, and what is the vegetation in India. This will look into detail. This vegetation need to be linked with the rainfall pattern in India. That means what is the percentage of the rainfall that you find in India, there is a rainfall map which I am going to show you now. This rainfall map is, if you map this particular area of rainfall, okay, you have rainfall and you map rainfall with that of the vegetation, you will be surprised to know that wherever you have high rainfall, that is the area you will have a very beautiful vegetation which is tall and right evergreen. Now come to class 11. Class 11 also talks about same things, that is climate and vegetation, but this climate and vegetation is little more in detail. Now here, as we are supposed to learn the rhythms of the season, again it says repetitions are there here. The cold weather season, the warm weather season, the southwest monsoons and the retreating monsoons. It is also the same. They are talking about the same aspects. What is this cold weather season? What is this warm weather season? Hot weather season, southwest and retreating monsoon. This is where we have to focus, how all these seasons are formed, right? How all these seasons are formed. This is what you need to know, right? And coming to the next chapter, that is your class natural vegetation, same thing, the vegetations have repeated here. We'll be looking into detailed manner in all of this. Now come to last one, soils. Soils we have dealt in a detailed manner in the biogeography theme itself. So here I won't be dealing with the soils, I'll be directly dealing, I've already dealt with the soils in the theme number 8 in the biogeography. Now let's quickly begin with the seasons in India. See, as you already know that seasons in India are one, cold weather season, hot weather season, southwest monsoon and northwest monsoon. Basically, the seasons in India are associated with rainfall pattern also. Right, seasons in India are also associated with rainfall patterns. For this, you also need to know that one thing, our earth is the seasons, the primary reasons for the seasons are the tilt in the earth. This is how the tilt of the axis is there. This, as we have tilt at any given point of time, imagine because of this tilt which is tilted 23.5 degrees. This 23.5 degrees tilt is the reason why you are going to have seasons. Okay. See, if you have your sun here, these are the areas which are going to face the sunlight. But look at the North Pole, it is completely under the sunlight. But what about the South Pole? South Pole, there is no light, right? South Pole is in pitch dark. These aspects which we have already learnt, the South Pole is completely under the darkness, right? South Pole is completely under darkness. This is your South Pole, right? This is South Pole, this is North Pole. Now, if this is your sun, that means majority of the times it is the tilt in the axis is the reason why you have your seasons. Along with this tilt, the revolution of the earth. Revolution in the sense, imagine the sun goes around and comes back. It revolves and it takes 365 days. Now this revolution is the one which is leading to the formation of seasons, which I have already told you in the beginning itself. Revolution is like this. Imagine this is your sun and earth. This is the positions of the earth, right? These are the positions of the earth. It takes 365 days. At one place you will be having summer, on the other side you will be having winter. It is because the direct sun rays will be falling on at one or the other latitudes directly. During the times of summer in the northern hemisphere, the sun rays will be falling directly on the sun rays will be, let's imagine this is your summer. In the summer months, the sun rays will be directly falling on the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, let's imagine that this is the sun and the sun's rays will be directly falling over Tropic of Cancer, and the sun rays will be present all throughout the year at the North Pole, and this is your Tropic of Cancer. These aspects which we have already learnt in the first class and second class itself. That means, what is summer season according to you? Summer season in simple terms, when the direct sun rays are falling on the Tropic of Cancer. This happens during the month of June 21st. ये हमने first class में ही पढ़ा था, याद है? Now, when is your winter in the northern hemisphere? If the sun goes around and comes to the other side of the position, this is your winter solstice. This winter solstice is the time period where you have cold weather season. This is your cold weather season where the direct sun rays are falling in the southern hemisphere at the Tropic of Capricorn. Right. this is what we have understood. The direct sun rays will be falling on the Tropic of Capricorn. Now this is winter solstice, it is winter in the northern hemisphere, and when the sun rays is directly falling on the Tropic of Capricorn, this is summer season, and the summer is at its peak. You already learned about the ITCZ zones in a detailed manner. All these things we have looked into. So this is, consider this as a just as a revision for the next 5 minutes or so that we can directly jump into the climates of India. Now look here, these PDFs that are there, they'll tell you that the climate of India are of this type. Look here. First, let's see what are the rhythm of seasons in India or rhythm of climate in India. The cold weather season. Usually the cold weather season sets in the mid-November in India. It's saying the cold weather sits in the month of mid-November. December and January are the coldest months in the northern plains. This means daily temperature remains to be 21 degrees Celsius over most part of the northern India. The night's temperature may be quite low somehow and going below the freezing point in Punjab and Rajasthan. There are three main reasons for the excessive cold in the India during this season. States like Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan being far away from the moderating influence of the sea, the snowfall in the nearby Himalayas, and also around February the cold winds coming from the Caspian Sea and Turkmenistan. So I know it is very difficult for you to understand this particular content which is there in the NCERT, so that's why I am there to make your content little more easier. So all these classes I'll sum up and I'll put it here. Once I put the content onto the board and I explain you, then you read any chapter, you will be having a beautiful understanding. For this, some basics that are required to understand is that one thing, the cold weather season in India, it is during the months of, look at India, the cold weather season in India, it is the onset of the cold weather season starts in the month of November, right? And till the month of January or till the month of February, you have a good, till the month of February, you are going to have very cold. December and Jan are going to be cold months, extreme cold. By the month of February and March, the things are going to ease out, right? This is how it is going to be there. Majorly, this cold weather season is confined only to the northern part of India. The southern part of India do not have cold weather season. In fact, the temperatures are not cold, right? The temperatures are not so cold. The cold weather season is only confined to the northern part of India, especially Punjab, Haryana, even to Rajasthan also it is cold, Jammu and Kashmir. In the hills it is going to snow, and in the plain area it is going to be little low in temperature. So let's try to understand what exactly is happening during the cold weather season, what exactly is happening during the warm weather season. For this, you need to understand the pressure belts, also the jet streams, and the hot weather season mein rainfall kaise ho raha hai, what is ITCZ zone, all these aspects in a single manner. The southwest monsoon, the monsoon winds of Arabian Sea, all these aspects we'll be learning in a detailed manner. For that, let me tell you, first I want you to understand that we had an ITCZ zone. Do you remember the ITCZ zone? I have shown you the pictures of the ITCZ zone few days before in the last few classes, because I'm setting the momentum to give you the content that is required for you to understand. See here, what do you mean by the cold weather season and the hot weather season? For that, you need to have an understanding on the ITCZ zone, right? I hope everyone remembers what is ITCZ zone. If not, please try to understand this. This is your ITCZ zone, right? ITCZ is a place where you're going to see the winds from the southern hemisphere are going to come and meet at the ITCZ, and the winds from the northern hemisphere are also going to come and meet at ITCZ. ITCZ zone, let's say that this is your ITCZ zone in the month of June and July, right? Let's imagine this is your ITCZ zone. What is ITCZ? ITCZ means intertropical convergence zone, right? Your intertropical convergence zone plays a vital role in the climate of India. Not just ITCZ, your jet streams, your southeast monsoons, the southwest monsoons, northeast monsoons, all of them will set. So for that, imagine this is the month of June or July. You have your equator here. Let's say this is your equator, right? And as you have your equator here, you have to know that the winds that are there, they will be coming from both the hemispheres. That is, these are your southeast monsoons, okay? Or else southeasterlies, can I say? If not southeast monsoon winds, rather I'll say that southeasterlies. So these southeasterlies, what do they do is, they wanted to come towards the ITCZ zone, for which they cross the equator and they tend to turn towards the right, because the Coriolis force in the northern hemisphere is towards the right and the Coriolis force in the southern hemisphere is towards the left. So any wind which has crossed the equator, it is going to tilt like this. It is going to tilt. Any wind which is going towards the northern hemisphere is going to tilt, right? It is going to tilt like this. So for India, this is north, this is south, this is east and this is west. For India, these winds, it appears to be coming from the, look here, majority of the winds that are coming to India are coming from southwest directions, right? This is your ITCZ zone during the months of what? Summer. And I hope everyone remembers what are easterlies, westerlies, which we have learned in the previous classes. Now come to the ITCZ zone during the times of winters. Look here, this is the ITCZ zone during the time of winters, right? This is your ITCZ zone during the times of winters. Now let's try to understand how the wind system works. That means all the entire system has shifted downward. This entire system, if it is shifting downward, don't you think that the wind system will also shift downward? Yes. So when the ITCZ zone is in the northern hemisphere, your wind system, that is ITCZ zone, when it is in the month of June, July, is this the direction of the winds? This is how the northeasterlies are there. Can I say these are northeasterlies? Now let's imagine I'm shifting the ITCZ zone. Your northeasterlies are going to advance, right? Yes. So your ITCZ zone is going to be there over India in the month of June, July, August, and almost till the month of September. You will see the ITCZ zone is more or less present from, that is 25 degrees north to almost on the India. But as soon as the month of January comes, this is the month of January. In the month of January, the ITCZ has completely shifted downward. That means the wind system shifted. Now, why is this ITCZ zone shifting? It is because the sun rays were directly falling over the Tropic of Cancer during the times of June, summer solstice, and the sun rays will be directly falling over the Tropic of Capricorn. So that's why there is so much of heat in the southern hemisphere. Wherever you have the highest amount of heat, that is where you are going to have the ITCZ zone, right? Now let's check the movement of the ITCZ zone winds. Look here, I'm using a different color. How does the wind system moves? Those winds which moved during the months of June, July, you look into the January, the winds will be of this sort. The winds will be, all these winds, they will be moving in this direction. This is how the winds will be moving, right? So this is where the winds goes. This is your southeasterlies and that is your northeasterlies. If I rub them, look here, try to understand these winds. ITCZ has shifted downward. Look here, the wind system will be completely reversed. You'll come across the wind system will be completely reversed. Those winds which were north, they will be shifting towards the south. It is like this. This is your ITCZ zone in the month of January. So during the months of January, the winds will now be present till here. That means look here, this is north of India, this is south of India, west of India, east of India. Basically, the wind seems to be coming like this. All these winds, they come over in India like this. Look at the direction. Can I say the direction of the winds is north? This is north, this is south. Are they northeast से आ रहा है ना, they come from, as if they look from, they are coming from northeast direction. This is northeast direction se the winds are coming. So that's why we call them as northeast monsoons. ठीक है, northeast monsoons during the time of December, October, November and December, because ITCZ zone is shifting. Earlier the ITCZ zone was north, so the wind system was completely over the ITCZ zone of the northern hemisphere. So this is how you'll get to see the winds in the southern hemisphere, right? Now these are your southeasterlies, these are your northeasterlies. So in the month of October, November and December, you have northeasterlies over India. Right? And June, July, August, you will have south westerlies over India. ठीक है, south westerly winds or else southwest monsoon winds are there over India. Right? So these are the aspects that you will get to see over here. Right? Okay. Now come back. We'll try to understand the entire climate of India. What exactly is happening during the months of summer. So let's see, because all the content is repetition of what you see in the class 11. So look here. First, let's see the cold weather season. What is happening during the cold weather season? That means we are going to understand the cold weather season in India. Look here. This is your India. And we are going to understand the cold weather season. See, this cold weather season, I can say that it is present in the month of November, December, January. Right? And October is also the time period for the northeast monsoons in India. What exactly is happening here? Let's try to understand. One thing, the northern part of India is cold and southern part of India is not that cold as compared to northern part of India, right? So here, to understand this, you also need to understand how our jet streams are there. See, you already have learned about the jet streams in the climatology. There is a jet stream during the times of winters. What happens is that our jet streams behave differently. Look here. Number one, the jet stream is going to behave differently. This is your Tibetan plateau. Okay? Imagine this is your Tibetan plateau. What is the average height of the Tibet? The average height of the Tibet is somewhere around 4 kilometers. And if it is winter, the Tibet is very cold now. The Tibet is very cold during the months of November, December, January. It is going to be cold. And here the wind sinks. Here the wind sinks. And also your jet stream which is there, jet streams which is present here, which will come in contact with the Himalayas, and a part of the jet stream will be moving in this direction and another part of the jet stream will be moving in this direction. Right? At what height are these jet streams present? The height at which jet streams are present is, these jet streams are present at a height of 8 to 12 kilometers. This is present at 8 kilometers height to 10 kilometers height. This is the height. But what about the monsoon winds? Monsoon winds are present somewhere at surface 0 to almost 3 kilometers height. So please make sure to understand at what height are these present, because you will be confused. Even by reading NCERTs, you will not have the understanding of whatever I am giving in the classroom. So please make sure to understand. And if you have any doubts, you can also drop me a message. You know my contact number, that is 7382 552230. So this is your jet stream which got divided into two. Why this jet stream got divided? It is because this jet stream which is coming in contact with the Himalayas. So these Himalayas are not letting the jet stream to move. During the times of winters, the jet stream also lowers. Right? Now what is the height? The height is 8 kilometers height. This is 8 kilometers. You know it. Now come to ITCZ zone during the months of December. So I'm talking about this are the months of what? These are the months of December, the cold weather season, October, November, December, January, February, October, November. This is the time I'm talking about. That means cold weathers. So your ITCZ zone is in the southern hemisphere. Can I say that your ITCZ zone is present here? Right? This was your ITCZ zone. Now wherever your ITCZ zone is present, that is where all the winds from the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere come and meet. Can I say that these are your surface winds? This is how you get to see the winds coming and meeting the ITCZ zone. These are southeasterlies, right? These are southeasterlies, and this is your equator, right? This is your equator. So the winds from the northern hemisphere also, they tend to come towards the ITCZ. So these are your north easterlies, and these are south easterlies, right? So these northeasterly winds which are moving at surface, at what height? These are from 0 to 5 kilometers height. This is where they are moving. Now what is the height of this yellow color wind? The height of this yellow color wind is moving at 8 kilometers. I'm talking about these surface winds. Now these surface winds, they are moving in this direction. Why are they moving in this direction? Because these are northeasterlies, and they drift once they cross the equator. They drift once they cross the equator. So here you see majority of it are over India. Now can I say that the wind seems to be coming from the northeast of India? It's like these are the winds which are coming from the northeast of India, right? Look here, this is your India. So majority of the winds are actually coming from northeast of India. So during the months of October, November, December and January, the winds that are present over India are of northeast. You're clear with this? Yes. Can I say this is also the time period where the northeast monsoon is there on India? Yes, northeast monsoon will be there till the month of October, November, and little parts of the December time period also you will have, but by December they are already gone. Okay, December, January they are already gone, but October, November and December is the time period you will have this northeast monsoons, and very good amount of rainfall you will get to see in Tamil Nadu. Due to this northeast monsoons, the rainfall is seen only in these areas. The eastern coast of India and the northeast area. These are the areas where you are going to see the rainfall. Rest of the India, such as Punjab will not get rainfall due to northeast monsoon, which is coming in the month of October, November and December. It will not, Haryana will not see, Jammu and Kashmir will not see, likewise Rajasthan will not see. That means, can I say during the times of winters or else the cold weather season in India, that is only the rainfall of northeast monsoon is present in the eastern part of India, that is coastal regions and northeastern regions and some parts of eastern parts of Bihar and these areas? Yes. That means these are your northeasterlies which are coming from around the earth. This is how they come, cross the equator and they become northeast, right? Now come to the next component during the times of November, December, January, February. What's exactly is happening? See, you will also come across there are some temperate cyclones which are being formed. See, these temperate cyclones there are air masses which can be formed over on the either sides of the jet stream, which we have already learnt. Now these air masses which are present on either sides of the jet stream, they mix with each other. Let's say these air masses, they mix with each other, and these air masses will tend to come as temperate cyclones. They will tend to come as temperate cyclones, and they are also called as western disturbances. Now these western disturbances are the ones which are going to be giving the rainfall to Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan also, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh region to an extent, and then Uttarakhand, and parts of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. So during the winters, you will have rainfall over these areas. Now let me tell you what are the areas where you are going to get to see the rainfall. The rainfall, these are the western disturbances which are found in the northern part of India. So India during the time of northeast monsoon is going to have rainfall from two different directions, or else in winter the India is going to have its rainfall from two different areas. Number one, it is going to have rainfall from the northeast. Number two, it is also going to have its rainfall in the name of western disturbances. These are called as temperate cyclones. They are also called as temperate cyclones or western disturbances. Now look here, how beautiful the earth wind system is. You have one wind system which is coming in the form of cyclonic rainfall, that is temperate cyclone present in the northern part of India. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar tak देखने के लिए मिलता है. On the other side, the rainfall is because of this northeast monsoon which is coming to India because the ITCZ zone is shifting towards the south, and to all the northeasterlies which wants to go to ITCZ zone, this is how you get to see. Now can I say that during the months of cold weather season, India gets rainfall from two major sources? One is northwest monsoon, so northeast monsoon, not northwest. One is northeast monsoon. Second thing, can I also say that India gets its rainfall from western disturbances because of this jet stream? This jet stream drags all the air masses, drags all the moisture that is present in the form of hot air and cold air. This hot air mass and cold air mass gets mixed, and this jet stream is the one which is getting to help the rainfall to India. Now sometimes this rainfall during the months of January, February or December, it also gives snow to the higher mountain ranges, right? They also give snow to the higher mountain ranges. Clear? Okay. Now this is what is called as the cold weather season. Right? Now what are the temperatures? The temperatures in Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh are going to be 0 degrees Celsius. Snow will be there. The lakes will be frozen there. Uttar Pradesh and these areas, what about the vegetation? They are going to grow the crops such as, they will grow the crops such as wheat. Now here the temperature in this part of the area, which is given by the western disturbances which are coming from the west, they are also going to reduce the temperatures. Especially in India, only in the northern part of India you can grow wheat. Here you can grow wheat. You can grow wheat only in the northern part of India. But where are you going to grow rice? Rice is not grown in northern part of India during the times of January, October, November, December. Rather they'll grow wheat because wheat requires 15 degrees Celsius of temperature, maximum of 15 degrees Celsius. Beyond 15, if it is having, the wheat will not grow. So, but you come to southern part of India, South India is again hot now. When you have hot weather season in the southern part of India, this is where you are going to see the growth of rice here, right? Rainfall is not seen to the western parts of the region such as Maharashtra. Winter में कोई rainfall नहीं होता. Go to Karnataka, there is no rainfall in winter. Telangana, no rainfall in November, December, January. Likewise, but go to Andhra Pradesh. When you go to Andhra Pradesh, eastern coast of Andhra Pradesh, good amount of rainfall will be there because this east coast is the one which is going to get good rainfall from the northeast monsoon. Chennai, it is going to get very good rainfall. Okay, Chennai is the one which is going to get very good rainfall. That's why flooding will be there in Chennai during the months of November and December there. Why? Because northeast monsoon is giving the rainfall. Now come to the northeastern part of India. This northeastern part of India will have very good rainfall due to northeast monsoons. So northeastern part of India receives rainfall during the northeast monsoons and also during the time of southwest monsoons, right? In totality, the rainfall to India during the months of the cold weather season is from two different sources. One is northwest and other one is western disturbances, which are otherwise called as temperate cyclones. Whether it is cold in the northern part of India. In the southern part of India, it is not so cold. The temperatures might be dropped to 20, 21, 22. But see, during the daytime it can be hot, and during the night time it can be cold. But you will not call that part of the area as a cold weather season. Cold weather season means it is part in the northern hemisphere. You go to southern hemisphere, you go to southern part of India. Okay, even during the winters, you go to Tamil Nadu and you go to Kerala, there is only one clothing that you will wear. You will wear only one clothing. Either you hardly need a sweater. Beyond a sweater, you don't need anything. But you go to northern part of India, you need a thermal layer, you need a sweater. Over that, you need a jacket. Like that, 3 or 4 layers of clothing you will be going. And the textile industry flourishes in the northern part of India. But southern part of India, it is cotton clothing, because hot temperatures will be there. Even during the daytime, the temperatures are very hot, right? So this is how you are going to see the weather conditions over India, right? Now this is the cold weather season of India, giving source of rainfall is from 2 different sides, northeast and the western disturbances. India do not receive rainfall, and this is your jet stream which is moving at 8 kilometers, ITCZ zone south. This is how you need to learn it, right? Now come to the northeast monsoon rainfall pattern in India. This northeast monsoon rainfall pattern in India is unique. Let me show you the monsoon map in India. Just a minute. Just give me a minute. Okay, see, as there is no northeast monsoon map, but let me tell you the northeast rainfall. I'll draw it again. See, can I say on this India, you're going to receive rainfall from 2 sources. This northeast monsoon will give rainfall to the northeastern area. Number 1, good amount of rainfall will be there, and it give rains to only the coastal regions. Okay, only coastal regions such as Tamil Nadu, coastal Andhra Pradesh, coastal Odisha, and the rain can also be seen in the Bay of Bengal, right? But what about the rains in the northern region? The rains here are driven by the western disturbances. Western disturbances starts to give rain to these part of the areas, right? Clear? Do you have rainfall to these regions, such as this part of the area do not receive rainfall during the winters? No rain. Clear? Next, come to the summer season. Come towards the summer season. Summer season or southwest monsoon season. For this, again, you need to understand what exactly is the jet stream, where exactly is the jet stream, how the wind system are moving. As you come back, let me give you the topography of this part of the area. The topography of these regions are very unique. See, the topography also you need to understand, especially in these areas. Let me try to show you how the topography of these areas look. The topography of India is like this. Now let's try to understand the summer. What's happening in the summer? Summer or hot weather season. Right? Let's see. This is your equator. Right? Where is your ITCZ zone? Your ITCZ zone is somewhere at this latitudes, right? Can I say this is ITCZ zone? Now at what height is this ITCZ zone present? ITCZ zone is present at a height of, let me draw it with a different color, your ITCZ zone. This is your ITCZ zone. Clear? This is your ITCZ, intertropical convergence zone, where the northeast monsoons and northeasterlies and southeasterlies come and meet. I also should show you where do you find your jet stream. There are jet streams which I told you, these jet streams can also be, you will come across the jet streams, but first this is your ITCZ zone, south of the Himalayas. Where is your jet stream? The intertropical convergence zone is this. Your jet stream, which is subtropical westerly jet stream, is present north of the Himalayas now. Your intertropical convergence zone is here and jet stream is present north of Himalayas. But this is your summer, right? During the months of summer, what happens to the Tibet? The Tibet heats. Look at the height of the Tibet, it is 4 kilometers. Now once the Tibet heats, the heating of the Tibet will be very extreme. It will be so extreme that it is going to be the heat engine of the world. Now in this heat engine, your Tibet behaves like this. Look here, all the heat that is there, it is going to evaporate. Okay? The Tibet is going to evaporate its heat. The air is going to rise. Once the air rises to the top, you know, low pressure systems which are there, can I call this Tibet as a low pressure area? This is your low pressure system, right? And once they reach to the upper atmosphere, they will start to diverge. Can I say they will start to diverge? This air is going to diverge in all the directions, right? Now your jet stream is present at a height of what height? It is present at a greater height. Let's say this is your jet stream. This jet stream, which is present at a height of 10 odd kilometers, it comes in contact with these winds, and then look at this, the jet stream itself will take a turn and come to India. A part of this jet stream will be moving further, right? A part of this jet stream will be moving further, but a part of the jet stream has taken a turn and came to India. Now what is the height of this jet stream? The height of this jet stream is somewhere around 8 kilometers height. This is at a height of 8 kilometers, 8 to 10 kilometers height. Now what is the height of this ITCZ zone? Height of the ITCZ zone is, it is at the surface, that is 0 to 2 kilometers, right? Now there are surface winds, there are upper atmospheric winds, but why did this jet stream has taken a turn? This jet stream has taken a turn because whatever that air that has risen over the Tibet, the winds that have reached to the upper atmosphere, they are diverging. Now there is a Coriolis force also. You know, Coriolis force is towards the right in the northern hemisphere and towards the left in the southern hemisphere. So apply the Coriolis force to all these winds which have been to the top. These winds, they deflect towards the right. They are deflecting like this. So the winds in the upper atmosphere are actually circulating like this. They are circulating in this direction. Because of the Coriolis force, the winds circulate in this direction. The low pressure system which is created over the Tibet, it goes above and diverging and it is circulating. And whatever the winds that you get to see in the form of this jet stream, the jet stream came in contact with them, and a part of the jet stream is also steered in the sense it is also has taken a drift. And this jet stream is the one which is coming over onto India, right? Now it is which month? It is the month of June, July. Very hot, direct sun rays are falling over the Tropic of Cancer. Can I say that these are your direct sun rays? Sun rays is falling directly over Tropic of Cancer. Now look at the winds at the surface. The winds at the surface will be coming like this. These are south Easterlies, can I say these are your southeasterlies? What is the duty of the southeasterlies? The southeasterlies wants to go towards the ITCZ zone, that is intertropical convergence zone, which is otherwise called as the area where the low pressure system is there. So once these winds, which are called as southeasterlies, they cross the equator, what is the direction of their movement? Coriolis force is towards the right in the northern hemisphere, right? Instead of moving in a straight manner, they deflect towards the right. And look, this is north of India, this is south of India, right? And this is east of India and this is west of India. All these winds which have gone there, they deflect towards India in this manner, and these winds, they'll start to come to India. Don't get confused with the 8 to 10 kilometers ऊंचाई पर है ये जो winds है which are present at a surface of 0 to 5 kilometers or 6 kilometers. Now these winds, they find their path and they come on to India, right? So the first rain that comes onto India is June 1st. June 1st is the date. This is the date where the southwest monsoons, that means, can you see this? Can you see this? This is south, this is west. The first winds that comes and hits the Kerala coast is somewhere around the June 1st week. In the June 1st week, these winds came and hit India. Now, what is the use of this jet stream? This jet stream, if there is any low pressure system which is developed, or if there is any rain that is present in the in the Bay of Bengal, it will drag onto India and it will help India, right? So this is how you will get to see the distribution of the rainfall all over, right? The distribution of rainfall is through the monsoon systems. Now look at this. This is a low pressure system. This is a low pressure system. Entire ITCZ is low pressure. So all the winds which are there, they wanted to move towards the low pressure. But while they go, they are also obstructed by the topography that you have seen over India. The topography is, you have Western Ghats on the western side, Eastern Ghats on the eastern side. Likewise, rain shadow regions are there. There are gaps. Yesterday in the last class, I told you that there are gaps. Gaps are nothing but where the monsoons can easily move. Likewise, you will come across the movement of these winds which are obstructed by the topography of India, which I shall be further teaching you in the next 5 minutes or so. And in a nutshell, this is how your summer looks. I'll step aside. If you have any doubts, you can also drop me a message on 7382552230. See, this is how the wind system is there in the summer season. That means India gets its rainfall from the direction of southwest. This is south and this is west, and this is called as southwest monsoon in India. This is called as southwest monsoon in India. Now 70% of India's rainfall comes from this particular southwest monsoon. It is during the times of hot weather season, and this is the rainfall of the hot weather season rainfall, right? Now, what are the temperatures? See, temperatures are not too extreme. They are not too hot. They will not reach somewhere around 40 or 45 degrees Celsius. Rather, they will not also reach somewhere around 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees Celsius. The temperature is moderate. 10, 15, 20 is 30 is the degrees Celsius across India, varying across the topography, right? Area is fully covered with the clouds. There will be cyclones that will be formed, which will be dragged by this jet stream, right? This is how you are supposed to mention in the examination. This is how you are supposed to understand the geography with respect to NCERT, right? So in a nutshell, I'll step aside. Please have a look and try to imbibe the content that is there on the board, right? Green color winds are present at 8 kilometers. It's a jet stream, and the name of this jet stream is, this is subtropical westerly jet stream. The same subtropical westerly jet stream has taken a steering around, and this is called as subtropical. Now it is easterly jet. It is called as subtropical easterly jet. Why is it called subtropical easterly jet? Because now for India, it seems to be coming from the east, and it is helping bringing the moisture which is there in the Arabian Sea, as well as bringing the moisture that is there and dragging from 8 kilometers, it is able to drag, and the low pressure systems which are there, it is dragging onto India, and it is helping the rainfall to increase over India. And the same subtropical easterly jet stream in your NCERTs, it will be written as it is present at 15 degrees latitude. Okay, 15 degrees latitude is this place where the jet stream moves in this direction, easterly direction. So in totality, this is what is your summer season. Now let's go into little more detail and try to understand when is this monsoon coming and what are the dates of these monsoons. Look at this slide. That is during the time of winter. This is your winter, right? And this is your ITCZ zone. ITCZ zone in June and July. Try to have a look. ITCZ zone in the June and ITCZ zone in the month of January, right? Okay, now come to the further aspects of understanding the monsoon. See, the monsoon to India, when it comes, it has a varied level of bringing rainfall. Look here, your NCERT also tells you when does the monsoon comes and what is the topographical influence of the monsoon, where is the high rainfall happening, where is rest rainfall happening. These are also some things that you need to know. See, the onset of monsoon to India, it takes little time. For this, let's look into the dates, how much time the monsoon takes in India to come to the entire region. Look at this map which is given in your NCERT. Number 1, on 1st of June, this is where your southwest monsoons come and hit the coastline of Kerala. But at times, very surprising is that if a question is asked, sometimes examiner can ask you this question, that is the mainland of India received rainfall first or the Andaman Nicobar? See, your Andaman Nicobar receives its rainfall on 25th of May itself or 20th of May itself. Now for these winds to cross over and then come on to India, it will take another 5 to 7 days. The first rainfall winds that come to India from the southwest monsoons, it is going to be on 1st of June. It is 1st June ko it will come and reach the coastline of Kerala. Post that, you will see the monsoon to India comes from two different sides. That is, let me draw it here. The monsoon to India comes from two different areas, or it has two different wings. Okay? Imagine this is your India. The first wing that comes to India is called as western wing. This is here, this is your equator. The winds come and hit the coastlines of India. But you have Western Ghats on the western side, so this is called as the second wing. Now this wing, first it goes to the, as there are Himalayas here, it goes to the northeastern side, and you have mountains over the northeast, so there is rain that is going to fall on the northeast, and then they change the direction in this manner. The southwest wing, or else the Arabian Sea wing, let's call this as Arabian Sea. This Arabian Sea wing will move and rise across the mountains and give rainfall. So that's why much of the rainfall is happening over the Western Ghats. But let me first give you the dates here. Follow the path. Please follow the path here. This is the line of 1st June. 1st June, these are the areas they are going to receive the rainfall. Now slowly the wind starts to move, and this is where your ITCZ zone is there. All the winds want to move there. So 1st June is there. Now come to the 5th June. By 5th June, these are the areas which are going to receive the rainfall. This is 5th June, right? And by 5th June, there is one wing, Bay of Bengal wing, moving in this direction. Likewise, Arabian Sea wing is moving in this direction. It enters into this area. By 10th June, the Arabian Sea will reach Mumbai, and these are the areas it is going to cover. Likewise, by 15th June, this is the area it is going to reach. Now here you have Vindhyas, Satpuras. By 1st July, this is the area that it is going to cover. This is 1st July, and by 15th July, this is the India will be covered completely. That means from 1st June to 15th July, it is taking almost 45 days for these winds to move further and give rainfall in the Rajasthan and in the Jammu and Kashmir region. Right? So how is this movement taking place? Let us try to understand in a detailed manner. Right? Let's try to understand in a detailed manner. Let's try to look here. Clear? So I said there are two wings. First one is Arabian Sea wing. This is your Arabian Sea, and this is your Bay of Bengal. By 1st June they come and hit. This is your equator. So the winds are going to cross over the equator and they turn towards the right in the northern hemisphere. So these winds, this is Arabian Sea wing, and then there is another wing which is called as Bay of Bengal wing. This Bay of Bengal wing is also moving in this direction. Let's say these are the Bay of Bengal wings which tend to move towards the ITCZ zone, right? Intertropical convergence zone. So let's say your ITCZ zone is somewhere here. The winds want to move towards the ITCZ zone. Right? So while they move, they also follow the path of the topography. So our Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal wing behave differently. Your Bay of Bengal wing will go to, this is your northeastern mountains. While it is going, there are some localized low pressures which are present all over India. These winds enter into the interior of India. But you already have mountains over the Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats will not let these winds to move that easily. Let's say these are your Eastern Ghats. They are not letting the winds to pass easily because your Eastern Ghats are mountains. These are mountains. Right? But in between mountains, I told you there is a gap. There is a river. Let's say this is your river. Right? This is a river. This is a river. This is a river. Now the monsoon winds use this river path to enter into the interior of the area. Right? This is how wherever the river valley is there, they go into the interior area and they give their rainfall. Likewise, you will also have the Western Ghats on the other side. Let's say this is your Western Ghats. These are your Western Ghats. Now Western Ghats will not let the Arabian Sea wing to rise that easily because they have to rise, the winds have to rise, and then on the other side as soon as they come they give their rain. So on windward side there will be rainfall, on the leeward side there won't be any rainfall. So that's why these pockets which are left, there won't be much rainfall. Right? That's why they are called as leeward side. So here the Arabian Sea wing goes and it enters into the Narmada Valley which is present here, and slowly here Aravalli mountains are there. It will not let the movement of these rainfall. So that's why your desert is left barren. Your deserts are left barren. Now likewise, out of the total rainfall, 70% of the rainfall in this southwest monsoon is given by the Bay of Bengal wing. Now this Bay of Bengal wing, it behaves differently as it goes into the northeast. Now the northeast is like this. Look here. Let me show you the topographical features of India first. And look at India. Now you can imagine in a better manner. So let me draw the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal wings. So this is your Bay of Bengal wing. This Bay of Bengal wing it first wants to go towards the northeast, because this is where your ITCZ zone is there. While it is not able to move inside, why is it not able to move inside? It is because there are some mountains. Let this white color aspects, let me call this as mountains. These mountains will not let the rain to move inside. Even if there is any movement of them, the rain is going to happen over these mountains itself. Likewise, you have Western Ghats, and there is only one gap in the Western Ghats, that is called as Palakkad gap, and one or two gaps in Maharashtra. Here you have Aravalli mountains. Now these are Vindhyas and these are Satpuras, right? So we have to keep in mind all these mountain ranges while we think of monsoon. It takes 1st of June here till 15th of July. This is the time it is going to take. In the due process, you will come across the distribution of this wind system. Now let me draw this distribution. So first the winds go to the northeast and they get hit by the mountains which are there on the northeastern side. These mountains are hit by the northeast mountains and they get trapped. And even on the north you have these tall Himalayas. These are tall Himalayas. So that's why your monsoon winds cannot cross over the Himalayas. They'll go to the ITCZ zone, they stay there, and once they are hit by the northeast, here slowly they are going to move towards the east. So dire, for them the easiest way is to find the path of the river. They'll find the path of the river and they go and give the rainfall like this. Wherever the clouds go, these clouds are the ones which are going to give the rainfall, right? This is how the distribution of the rainfall is going to happen, right? That means there are river valleys are the ones which are going to give good rainfall. But there will be areas that I told you, such as this is an area which is rain shadow region. Why? Because there is also another wing. This other wing is Bay of Arabian Sea wing. Arabian Sea wing it is going to, the monsoon winds goes like this. It enters into south of the Aravallis and it also enters into Narmada Valley. Okay? It enters into the Narmada Valley like this. This Narmada Valley entry is there and rainfall happens in that particular valley itself. Later, you see, this region is left barren, and Gujarat also receives a decent amount of rainfall, but even Gujarat do have these mountains. These are small mountains, but still the rain manages to enter into Gujarat but not to Rajasthan. Why? Aravalli mountains are there. Likewise, the distribution of the monsoon takes near about 1 month, one full month. It takes 1 month. That is 1st of June to 15th of July, right? And slowly you will see the winds which are present north of the Himalayas. These are the northeast winds which wants to come to ITCZ zone. But there are Himalayas will not let move the winds towards the north. And in this manner, the distribution of entire rainfall you will get to see. But wherever you have mountains in these areas, the rainfall is going to be high. Wherever you are going to see the plain areas or rain shadow regions, there the rainfall is comparatively less. But majority of the rainfall which is given by the Bay of Bengal wing will give you high rainfall. Arabian Sea wing will only give 20 to 30% of the rain. 70% of the rain, 60 to 70% of the rain is given by this wing. Now I want you to go towards the northeast region. Okay? Especially the topography of the northeast, and let's try to understand the topography in little more detail. Especially the northeast topography. It will be very surprising to see that the exaggerated topography ke saath, if you study it, you will get a better idea. So let's see. Look here. This is your northeast. Now the winds which are there, first what do? Is they go to the northeastern region. All these winds, they first go to the northeastern side because ITCZ zone is somewhere here. So while they go, they hit with these mountains and slowly the cloud behaves like this. Imagine that this is a mountain. Imagine this is a mountain. I'm talking about only one mountain. And then see this cloud. Let's see this. Look at this cloud. The behavior of the cloud is that it is going to rise. As it rises, adiabatic process, which you got to learn, that the moisture will now relatively have 100% moisture in this cloud, and slowly it is going to rain. Why is it going to rain? Temperature is going to get reduced as the cloud rises, and this mountain pushes the cloud to rise. And on the other side, as soon as this cloud rises, they will give all its moisture on this side itself. On the other side, you will see the cloud which went, it is going to sink. While it is sinking, it is going to gain moisture again. Okay? It is going to gain moisture. Imagine there is another mountain range. So this cloud has to again rise. While it is rising, it will give rainfall. Right? Like that, just imagine that there are hundreds of clouds. Like there are hundreds of clouds and hundreds of mountains. Right? Now this is your Western Ghats. Let's imagine these are your Western Ghats, especially in Karnataka region. It will be like this. This is your Gujarat. So this part of the area will not receive any rainfall, right? This part of the area will not receive any rainfall. By the time they go, they are dry. This is called as leeward. This is also called as rain shadow region. This is also a very good area where you will get to see good amount of rainfall. Now come back to this northeast. Northeast में क्या हो रहा है? Like that, as the clouds go in this direction, the winds go, there is good amount of rainfall that you will get to see in this area. Very good amount of rainfall. Why? The clouds are rising, they are raining, then they sink, they gain the moisture, again rising, and continuous supply of clouds are there from the Bay of Bengal, because Bay of Bengal is water, they are evaporating. So like this, you come across this Monsoon and Cherrapunji. These are the two areas. Monsoon and Cherrapunji, these areas will receive excellent rainfall. One from the southwest monsoons. And there are also northeast monsoons in the month of October which come in the opposite direction. Right? They are also, which is called as retreating monsoon. उस टाइम पे भी बारिश होता है यहाँ पर. तो इसीलिए Monsoon and Cherrapunji, they'll have a rainfall of 1,000+ centimeters, and these are the wettest places on the earth. These are the wettest places on the earth. So here, let's look from the Bihar. See, this is your Bhojpuri area. This is your Bhojpur area. Now, a person who is standing here, for him, this particular monsoon winds which went on this direction, they get trapped here. And slowly they find their path. They find their path like this. They hit and slowly they turn like this. Why? Because continuously there is supply of moisture which is coming. The winds are coming. They hit, they rain, and then they start to move in the other direction like this. So for him, look at this person. Are these winds coming from the eastern side or are they coming from western side? Look, the winds are coming from, this is your east and this is your west. ठीक है? This is your east, this is your west. So for him, this particular wind seems to be coming from eastern side. So that is why they are called as Purviya. They call this particular winds as Purviya. इसे कहते हैं मॉनसून्स इन द भोजपुरी एरिया. राइट? क्योंकि ये बंदे को ईस्ट से ऐसा लग रहा है, ईस्ट से आ रहा है. दिस इज ईस्ट फॉर हिम. दिस पर्टिकुलर एरिया इज ईस्ट फॉर हिम. सो दिस ईस्टर्न साइड से winds आ रहा है, तो for him it is Purvaya. Now like that, the entire rainfall is distributed all over. And this rainfall, if you know in centimeters or if you know in terms how much amount of rainfall is there in which part of the area, that is what you need to understand. For which topography जानना काफी जरूरी है. Right? If you are clear with the topography, then things will become easier. Right? The last rainfall to India is seen in the Rajasthan and Jammu and Kashmir. The first rainfall to India is seen in The state agar dekha jaye, it is Kerala. Agar if you also calculate the islands and so, it is also in Andaman Nicobar. Andaman Nicobar sabse zyada, it is first rainfall you'll get to see. That is on 25th of May itself you'll get to see the rainfall in Andaman Nicobars. And here 1st of June, right? Almost 5 to 10 days ahead this particular region is there, right? Okay. Now come to the distribution of the rainfall over India, right? So what is this distribution and how is this distribution there? These are the 2 seasons that you got to learn in detail. Now let's see the annual rainfall pattern in India. Okay. The map that I'm going to draw, this is what is the annual rainfall pattern of India. And in this annual rainfall pattern, let us try to also understand how the vegetation is there over India, right? So the annual rainfall pattern in India is like this. So let me highlight this map. Right? Let's imagine this is your India. Now the highest rainfall is always seen in these 2 areas. Let me blue it. This is the area of highest rainfall. One here and the northeastern area. How much rainfall you're going to get to see here? The rainfall is especially Tripura, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, because the rainfall is from both southwest monsoons and these are Western Ghats. Western Ghats hone ki karan, the air is going to rise and it is going to shed its moisture. Especially in Karnataka, the hills are very broad. The width of the hills is broad, so the rainfall is more there. So when you have such high rainfall, what kind of vegetation you will have? You will also have similar kind of vegetations. They are none other than, you will have the vegetation of something which is of 250 centimeters. Now in this area, you will get to see the blue color area. In these areas, you will get to see, if this is blue color, these areas will see more than 200 centimeters of rainfall. 200 plus centimeters of rainfall. अगर rainfall उतना ज़्यादा है, if it is that high rainfall, what kind of vegetation you will have? Obviously, the kind of vegetation that you are going to have is evergreen vegetation. ठीक है, जहां बारिश ज़्यादा है, वेजिटेशन उसी टाइप का होगा. फिर क्रॉप्स क्या ग्रो किया जाएगा? जो क्रॉप्स जो सबसे ज़्यादा पानी चाहता है. एंड इफ यू हैव सच हाई रेनफॉल, the soil is not going to be fertile, you know. Why? Because the soil gets eroded. And these are the areas which are also having mountains. And in these mountains, if such high rainfall is there, these are also the areas of mountains which you have already seen. That means you'll also have mountain forests which are evergreen in nature. Evergreen forest alag-alag layers mein hota hai. The evergreen forest will be in multiple layers, right? This is how you'll get to see the rainfall here. Forest is evergreen and the forest will be like this. You'll have, if this is the ground, you'll have a big tree. This big tree will be having a height of 60 meters. And then on this tree, you will find some creepers from the ground. From the ground, you will see there are some creepers which wants to climb above the tree. Then you will have a B layer. You will also have another layer. This is top layer. Then you have another layer. The other layer can be of this height. Then you have a third layer. This can be another layer. So likewise, the vegetation in this part of the area is layered. Okay? Those which require sunlight, they'll go up. And these are the ones which are going above the surface of this tree. And then they are fighting for the sunlight. Those which stay at the bottom, they behave differently. Their leaves are not going to be green in color. They give you different kinds of colors because green color is the one which will help in the chlorophyll pigmentations. So if you are not having green color, that means this particular plant or something is using different process to make its food. So this is the fight for the sunlight. Whosoever is fit enough, they'll go and identify sunlight. Whosoever is weaker, they change themselves into different colors. They use different means to get their food, right? So this is how the vegetation is going to be there in this part of the area, right? And what are the crops that are grown here? what kind of crops will be grown? Is rice grown? Yes, maybe rice is grown because 150 centimeters of rainfall is there. Usually rice grow करने के लिए आपको चाहिए the good quality of soil is required, nutrition is required, but good amount of rainfall is there. Along with rice, you will go for a plantation crops. You will not grow for crops, you will grow for plantation crops. If you plant once, it will become a tree and it will give you fruits like badam, areca nut, right? And spices you will grow here, right? These are some of the plants that you are going to see in this region. Now come to the next area, that is your 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall. Look, this is the area of 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall. Now these areas which are given by mostly by the Bay of Bengal wing. Now this is the area where you will get to see 100 centimeters of rainfall to 200. That means when you have 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall and the quality of the soil is good, you will go for different crops. Now here you will find deciduous plantation. Evergreen plantations मिलना मुश्किल है यहाँ पर. They are usually deciduous. Deciduous, and that too tropical deciduous will be there. Some can be dry, some can be wet. Tropical dry deciduous, tropical wet deciduous. Basically, if the rainfall is more, it will be on the wetter side. If the rainfall is less, it will be on the lower side. If it is given as 100 to 200, some areas can receive 150, 180, 190. If there are areas which are receiving 110 or so, you will have dry deciduous. Basically, trees will be there during the months of few rainless seasons. It is going to shed its moisture. During the months of rainy seasons, it is going to gain that moisture. It is going to keep its leaves. During the months of non-availability of the moisture, it is going to shed all the leaves. Okay? It is going to shed all the leaves, and this is where the trees, the vegetation is also deciduous type of vegetation you will get to see. Now the next area which you will get to see here is the area of 50 to 100. Now this particular area is the area where you are going to see the rainfall as 50 to 100 centimeters of rainfall. That means, can I say that this is 50 to 100 centimeters of rainfall? Up 50 to 100 centimeters of rainfall mein, the vegetation is neither wet deciduous, it is going to be completely dry deciduous, and seasonally droughts you will get to see here, right? Drought like conditions. Continentality is high. Continentality means they are present in the interior area. They are dependent on the monsoon. If the irrigation facilities are well fed, the crops can be grown beautifully. If there is no irrigation facilities, then the crop, only one crop per year can be taken, right? And lastly, the rainfall that you get to see around less than 50 centimeters is this. This rainfall, these are the desertified areas, one in Ladakh, one in Rajasthan, and the semi-arid region. I told you rain shadow region is there. No, here, this is your rain shadow region. ये रेन शैडो रीजन होने के कारण आपको बारिश नहीं मिलता. Why is Rajasthan rain shadow region? This Rajasthan is rain shadow because of the Aravalli mountains are there here. They will not let the rain to come to this part of the area. This Aravalli mountains will not let the rain to come to this part of the area. Now here Western Ghats are there. On the other side Eastern Ghats are there. जहाँ जहाँ Eastern Ghats है वहाँ बारिश है, and this area is left to desert. Desert in the sense they are neither completely desert nor completely wet. They are semi-arid areas, but these are completely arid areas. So this is how the linkage between rainfall and vegetation is there, topography and other aspects. But come to the natural vegetation which I wanted to show you. Look at the maps here. You already know these are the areas which are receiving the rainfall of 200 plus centimeters. Now what kind of rainfall, what kind of vegetation do you have here? This vegetation is tropical, wet, evergreen. How much rainfall? 200 plus centimeters of rainfall is there, right? Here this is also tropical, wet, evergreen, 200 plus centimeters, right? Now come to the next, that is tropical deciduous. that is tropical deciduous forest, are these. So the entire area, this is your tropical deciduous. Do you remember, isn't this the area which is having a rainfall from 100 to 200 centimeters? 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall. Tropical deciduous, like here you'll have the trees like sandalwood trees will be there, okay? And they'll shed their leaves. Now come to the mountainous area. This is your mountain area. Look here, all this area is your mountain. Here you will have mountain forests. And the rainfall here is comparatively less rainfall is there. But due to the availability of moisture in the form of jet stream, in the form of clouds, that is why the moisture sometimes is good seasonally and the moisture is not up to the mark seasonally. So the forests that are found here in the higher altitudes over the mountains is called as mountain forest, whereas coniferous trees can be seen, whereas the pine, oak, cher trees can be seen here. Sometimes cloud, they moves on the mountains and that is how they get their moisture. During the times of winter, these receives the rainfall. Northeast monsoon के लिए ये rainfall मिलता है, right? And lastly, this is your semi-arid areas or desertified areas. I can consider this as, that is tropical. These are tropical thorn vegetation. Tropical thorn vegetation मतलब जिसको कांटे होते हैं, they'll have spikes and needles. They do not have, there is not much amount of moisture present in the region. If there is a plant, this plant will not have leaves. If the leaf is wide open, the evapotranspiration can take place. Evapotranspiration means the moisture which is present in the soil, through this, from the leaf, it can get evaporated. This is called as evapotranspiration. In order to avoid the loss of the moisture, they'll tuck themselves into needles. So these kind of needle-like structures can be seen in this part of the area, right? Needle-like structures can be seen. In a nutshell, these are the vegetations that you'll get to see here. And come to the Andaman Nicobars and here Lakshadweeps. Even in the Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep also, you will have similar kind of vegetation that you are going to see here, right? That is evergreen vegetation which you can find here, right? Okay, now try to link it with the, here you are supposed to link with the rainfall, topography, ठीक है, and vegetation. Don't you think they are all interlinked? Rainfall is linked with topography, topography is also linked with vegetation, right? Okay, now there will be some questions that what is break in the monsoon? In your 11th class NCERT, there is something written as break in the monsoon. What is this break in the monsoon? Let me tell you what is the break in the monsoon. See, sometimes your monsoon will be, the winds in the Arabian Sea, they'll be moving straight. As the topography of the Western Ghats is like this. First I have to explain topography and then I'll tell you why the winds are moving. See, the topography of the Western Ghats is like this. On one side they will be steeper, on the other side they will be gentle, right? So look here, for a person to climb on this side is difficult, but for a person to walk on this side is easy, right? So this kind of landforms are called as escarpments. They are called as escarpments, right? They are called as escarpments. Now, as there are escarpments here, very steep and gentle slope, very steep and gentle slope, steep and gentle slope, like this. This steep and gentle slope is the reason why sometimes you will have the clouds staying over the mountains here. Apart from that, there are some advanced concepts which you need to know: El Nino, La Nina, and also Madden-Julian oscillations, Indian Ocean dipole, which will be taught to you in the advanced lectures. that will also impact, right? And the Walker cells are also the cells which are present in the ocean, that will also be taught to in the advanced areas. So with the cumulative impact of these Walker cells or the Madden-Julian oscillations are those some cells which are present in the ocean, which you learn in the advanced lectures, that they will make sure the winds which are there in the Arabian Sea, why and how I'll be teaching you in the advanced sessions. The Arabian Sea wing will start to move in the straight. They are moving parallel to the coastlines. These winds will be moving parallel to the coastlines. Now for about a week time period, for 1 week, you will get to see not much rain over India. Okay, why? Because these winds are moving parallel to the coastline, and they find it very difficult to climb the mountain. This is also another reason, because when the wind strength is weak, when the wind strength of the winds is weaker, the winds will take little time to climb. So ये जो time होता है ना, it is for 1 week, and this 1 week time period is called as the break in the monsoon. Now this break in the monsoon is also written in your NCERTs. Especially they talk about the break in the monsoon in a detailed manner. Let me show you. What is this break in the monsoon? I want you to read it. Let me read the literature here. Okay? Look at the literature. I'll read it for you. Number 1. During the southwest monsoon, let me read it clearly. During the southwest monsoon period, after having rains for few days, if rain fails to occur for 1 or more weeks, it is called as the break in the monsoon. Now, why did this break? I already told you here, Western Ghats are there, and in the ocean, there are some changes that are happening in the name of Madden-Julian oscillations, right? These dry spells are quite common during the rainy season. These breaks in the different regions are due to different reasons. Number 1, the North Indian rains are likely to fail if rain-bearing storms are not very frequent along the monsoon trough. If suppose this monsoon trough is not strong, then also the winds will not come very fast. Over the west coast, the dry spells are associated with days when winds blow parallel to the coastline. See here, the winds blow, if they are blowing parallel to the coastline of this, then also you will have the break in the monsoon. 1, failure of the ITCZ, if it is not strong, then also you will have break in the monsoons. Next, these are the 2 major reasons that are associated with the break in the monsoons. ये दोनों आपको जानना चाहिए, right? And lastly, one last component that I have to tell you is, see, you know that the ITCZ zone which is there, it takes little time to move north, and this wind system will also take little time, right? You see, here you will get 1st June, right? But before the June 1st, there will be rains that you will get to see in the month of May or in the month of April. That is because of convectional rainfall. 1st June is the time period where you are going to get monsoons, but even before the monsoons, at times what happens is that in the month of May, April and May, there will be rains that you will get to see across India. Now these rains are primarily because of the convection. Convection is something which I have already taught to you. So the convectional rainfalls in Bangalore or Karnataka, and the convectional rainfalls in Kerala, this is Karnataka, and the convectional rainfalls in Kolkata, so they are having different names. They are also because of different convectional reasons. So this Kerala, it is called as mango shower. They are called as mango showers. And in Karnataka, they are called as blossom showers. And in the West Bengal, they are called as Kal Baisakhi. Right? So like this, the pre-monsoon showers means which are seen in the month of May, April and May, where the heat is also more and there is a lot of evaporation that is taking place. These rainfalls, which are convectional in nature, they are your mango showers, blossom showers, and Kal Baisakhi, right? So these are the entire seasons, and India is having the total seasons of hot weather season, cold weather season. Now within this hot weather season and cold weather season itself, you have southwest monsoons and then you have northeast monsoons. Northeast monsoons are seen along with the westerlies, that is western disturbances in the northern part of India, and the southwest monsoons are seen along in the summer months. The highest rainfall is because of the southwest monsoons, especially because of the Bay of Bengal wing and the topography that is associated, whereas the northeast monsoon gets somewhere around 30 to 40% of the rainfall, and northeast monsoon gives only rainfall to the eastern coastal areas only and northeast. So that's why this area, which receives northeast monsoons also, southwest monsoons also, it has evergreen forest. Those areas which have 250 plus centimeters of rainfall, it has evergreen forest. Everything is interlinked. So this is what is geography. Acha laga? So you can also drop me a message. How did you find these lectures? And in the further lectures, I am going to deal in more detail about other topics. Thank you and see you. I shall be seeing you in more lectures.